Right, bit of a tech mishap at the beginning there, but we got there in the end. So, you know, I'll drink to that. I will drink to that, as they do say. Hope that you all are having a good night. Everything looks like it's going good on my end, which, you know, that's good. I like it when things are going well. You know, that normally means that things, shockingly, are going well, and I can count on them to not be absolute horse shit. Boom. And that'll work. That'll work. And that's, you know, what we're working on. What it'll work. Anyway, let's get a new character and just get this going. Naturally, I'm gonna go for the most bioluminescent thing I can find. You know, again, quite naturally, you know, we wouldn't want to misrepresent reality, you know. God forbid I show myself as not, like I said, fucking bioluminescent. Oh, did we get... Trying to figure out, did we get new hair? Huh. Looks like we might have. That is a nice enough hairstyle, nope. Okay, that's the far end. Let's circle back to the beginning, and Castellan will work well enough. Short and Castellan, you know. May as well. Blondness all the way. We are frightening to look at. Let's go... I need to come up with a new name. Shit, turns out I have used this name too much, and as such it is being overridden. Nope, God damn it, I can't think of a name off the top of my head. Cool, whoever popped into chat, give me a fucking name. I am spacing on one to come up with right off the top of my head. You know what? Eric the Pale. That works well enough. Start new. Let's remove this real fast so I can get the world started. Cool. And YouTube Sven. Cool. Start. And are things working like they should? Please tell me they are. Okay, thank goodness. Things appear to be doing what they should at this point. That is what I like to see. I shockingly don't like it when shit goes sideways. Okay, that works. That appears to be working as well. Cool. That is just what I like to see, which is everything working in a decent manner. Cool. Yeah, everything's rolling as it should. Do wonder how this world is going to shape out, because I have had a few shitty spawns in the past few runs. Long ago, the All-Father Odin united the worlds. He threw down his foes and cast them into the 10th world, then split the boughs which held their position in the world tree and left it to drift unanchored, a place of exile. For centuries, this world slumbered uneasily, but it did not die. As glacial ages passed, kingdoms rose and fell out of sight of the gods. When Odin heard his enemies were growing once again in strength, he looked to Midgard, sent Valkyries to scour the battlefields for their something greatest warriors start a new life in Valheim. Was not expecting to have to fucking speedrun that. You know, I always expected Valkyries to be a bit more beautiful and a bit less bird-like, though that may admittedly be a bit more of the media that's been consumed. Though, you know, I suppose you could find these beautiful in their own corvid way. Sort of like the crow creatures from the Painted World. You know, I should check which game it says I'm streaming, because it has a weird habit of putting me in the completely wrong game. Valheim. Okay, what are we looking at here? Hello, Hugin. I am Hugin, sent here to guide you in your travels. The megaliths around you are the sacrificial stones. They represent the Forsaken, which you must slay in order to ascend to Valhalla. Yep, that's close. Understood, Hugin. Hail warrior. Yep. Eikthyr first prey. Hey, we're learning to run better. Let's toy with the settings. berries. Cool. And it's like Minecraft, we'll punch the trees until the trees are no more. Yippee. So yeah, the reason I have gathered you all here today is trying to figure out how we're gonna run the next series on the channel, that being our marathon to surpass Metal Gear. As the name so cleverly implies, you know, we're gonna be playing the Metal Gear series. Yep, stamina. Okay, sawed off grayling. Yep. Hey, resin, that's incredibly useful, and the deer are barking. Yeah, so what, we got Eikthyr over... Yes, Hugin. I understand that I need to be aware of my inventory. Berries. We are looking for berries, and if we're lucky we might find some cream. I do love me some berries and cream. Can I build a hammer? No, we need... For now, let's just put those in the hotbar. We need stone. Come on, where are we gonna find the stone? Hey. We got a neck stone. That's wonderful. Mushrooms. Outhouse shrooms. You know, make of that what you will. Where's the nearest stream? Cause that's my current quarry. Stream, try to get some flint and go from there. Oh, that's a bee. Pop the stamina. You know, if we play that right, we might be able to just destroy the blocks that it's being supported by without having to deal with the poison bees. That's right, Yaddles, if you eventually watch this. Bees. Ooh, berries. This is a good berry patch for right at the beginning. There we go. And let's get here and market RB for red berry. Red berries are good to have. Especially because they give us literally anything to play with. Come on. Chop the wood. Cool. 3 crafting. Cool. We just need the 10. Yes, yes, now piss off, Hugin. There we go. Ooh, and a queen from this. Yep, that's great, Hugin. Yeah, I hear you, dude. Do we have any... Yeah, so if we run out this way... Yeah, run this way. Ooh, more raspberries. Good. Grab what we can. You know, something I would really like is a way to domesticate raspberries. I know it's like encouraging us to get out there and explore and whatnot. But it would be so nice to just be able to have a consistent source of them. We'll save the last honey. Ooh, house. Save the last honey for a, you know, actual Eikthyr fight. What do we got here? Arrows, flint, and that. Brilliant. Now, what I'd really like is one of those small huts that can get you the 2nd level of wood right off the bat. Which this does not seem to be the case. It's, you know, the circle stones with the... Or, it's got the circle of stones as a campfire pit in the middle. Well, henceforth I dub this Raspberry Hill. It don't have much in terms of raspberries, but by Jove, it's Raspberry Hill. What do we want this to be? Yeah, we'll have it as fire. Climbing up on Raspberry Hill. I could see the city lights. Yep. Understood. You couldn't be giving me like a boar stone. Those are really useful to have. Bloody hell. I was right to call this Raspberry Hill. If this is all we're getting over here. That's a pretty little patch if I do say so myself. RB. Rhythm and Blues. Yep, the deer are barking. Because we all know deer... Actually, the variety of deer that's being used as an influence, I believe, do bark like that. But that's not useful for the condescension I'm stating right now. Cool. Another little hut. Another little hut. Yeah, at least we're getting berries. Not a lot, but I've got a feeling they'll be a bit harder to come by later down the line. Especially once, you know, I'm taking this land for all it's worth, as, you know, any proper Viking would. Ooh. And this is a nice little grove of birch. Get back here, you little shit. I ain't gonna let you run away that easy. This... You know, prayer is very important, but... It's not what I'm looking for right now. Yeah, bark away. Bark away for all I care. Pop another raspberry. And off to the ocean. What do we got? Ah, the edge of the horizon. Do you know what that smells like to me? A boar stone, apparently. Yep, that's a boar stone. Mark that here. Boar stone. Now, we have a wager as to whether or not this will be our first death. Lovely. Got ourselves some more materials. Even better. Do want to try and get ourselves a bit more flint. Maybe grab a neck or two for their tail meat. Boom. There we go. How's our durability looking? Decent. Okay. Cool. Yeah, come here. I need more neck. Give me more necks, people. Or flint. I'll take flint as well if you happen to be giving them out. Okay, grayling of the pond. Tell me, what do I seek? Ooh, flint. Thank you, oh grayling of the pond. More flint, very nice. Grab the stone as well. Do need to start thinking about a shelter. Preferably something that's not too far from the stones. You know, refurbishing a little village like this wouldn't be bad, because we got a captive berry population. Nope, don't hurt my berries. Yeah, no, we've got 2 log stacks here. 2 berry farms, which I will harvest. My friend, you're following me. How lovely. Nice, grab that. Nice open concept house. You know, trying to experience all that nice natural air. It's healthy for you, you know. Drop in a quick fire, that'll work. And done. Village. Cool. Ignore my lack of spelling ability. That's a separate issue. What do we got here? Okay, normal wood and normal wood. That's great. I was hoping for something a little more exciting, but I'll take what I can get. Throw that down. Hit repair. Anything else need to be repaired at the moment? Hey. Get outside. Yep. Outside. If you keep this up, I will kill you. But you were a nice enough fellow. I didn't feel the urge to immediately do that. That's voice crack. Let's clear that wall. Bottom one. Bottom two. Swap that around. I don't think it'll be raining just yet, so we should be fine without. Throw that there. Put on a door. Here. Destroy the bed so we can put down a new one. Furniture. Hello, Hugin. Yep, sleep the night away. I do in fact know how to sleep it. Right, and with this, I think we pass our first night. You know, a good first night's sleep is it's a wondrous thing to have while you still can. Like wood that you forgot about. What do we want our first item to be? Okay, we need more leather scrap. Leather scrap is going to be a must-get. Flint axe. Honestly, let's go with the flint spear right off the bat. And yeah, after that, let's just go about and try to find some other stuff. Hey Jared, I hope you are having a wonderful time. I unfortunately managed to miss 90% of the book reading, but heard it was a good time. And you know, this is a really fun game. It's right about where I would want Minecraft to be in terms of complexity and just like replayability, because you have a very clear goal that you're aiming towards, which is an issue I have with some of Minecraft. And hey, Bite, I'll have to swing around and watch the VOD. I was really bummed. Oh shit, that's a 1-star boar. Shoulda saved him for a farm. Apparently Wugs knows how to read, which is a horrifying concept to me. I didn't know that he had it in him. I always thought he was illiterate just like the rest of us, you know. Didn't know how to read or write Latin. But yeah, I'll have to go back and watch the VOD, because I heard it was a good time. Boom. Right, let's mark another boar stone. But yeah, the reason why I gathered you all here today is trying to figure out once and for all how we're gonna work this whole Metal Gear marathon that I'm planning. And I want your guys' input. Because right now, I'm leaning towards playing it chronologically, which would mean we play 3 first, then Portable Ops, and go from there. But the issue I might have with that is it'll also put us way out of date for the drop of 4 when that inevitably comes. You know, I'm absolutely following through with that. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to fully go through it. One moment. But yeah, if time was no object, I would absolutely love to do it chronologically. Yeah, also Peace Walker and all that, which I am definitely leaning towards. But there's the issue of trying to stay topical. You know, the demise of every... Ooh, that's a nice 1-star deer. Come on. Nope. Come here, deer. I can pop another honey. Yeah, I'm gonna check Steam right now, because is Peace Walker something that I have? No, I don't. I've got Ground Zero. Okay. So what? Peace Walker being 3rd, that'll put us 3 Portable Ops, then Peace Walker. Yeah, I think that'll actually line up decently enough, depending on how well we pace the games. So I think this route might work, but please, you two are my chief advisors right now. What do you think? How do we play this? Goddamn, I was hoping for core wood. How are we looking? We've got raspberries here. It's a decent place to set up. Let's just swing out this way, see if we can explore anything else on the coastline. Okay, it's currently PSP collections on PS3 and 360. That would be helpful if I had either of those consoles. Well, I hate to tell you, Jared, everything for the whole future of my channel relies on you. And yeah, Bite, it's August that Volume 2 ends up coming out. I want to say like the 20th or something, maybe the 19th. But it's like midway through August, so just far enough into the timeline of the year that it's bothersome for what I'm trying to do. And also checked the rest of the games, like Acid or whatever, to see when they would be. I actually have image saved. Okay, 27th. Of like what the order would be. Let me pull that up. Yeah, let me... I need to copy and paste. Let's rename this. Yeah, I found somebody who made a really good timeline of the games when it's, you know, all wrapped together. Let's hope it stands up when I blow it up. And pull it. Yeah, so nope, Metal Gear Timeline. Still trying to play around with this. There we go. So, damn it, that is literally just too big. That'll work. Yeah, so yeah, I think what we might do is Peace Walker on the emulator. I might need your help on that. I mean, we also are going right to Portable Ops, which is, you know, also going to be on an emulator. So, you know, that's not too outrageous considering that'll be part of what we need. But yeah, I'm currently thinking that this will be how we run it. The other issue was I was thinking, oh, we can just do things timeline-wise, but, you know, we're going from Metal Gear, and then we have to decide, okay, do we want to go right to Acid? Do we want to go directly to 2? How do we want to roll this? Thank you, Bite. I have said it multiple times, but I am shockingly inept when it comes to getting technology to actually function. Yeah, I do think that this could be the way to get everything running, you know, just so long as we ignore the whole stuff involving Snake being in Smash and all of that. Also, Snake's Revenge. I'm not sure how those really fit beyond being in the different timeline. So yeah, I think this might be the way for us to go proper. Start with 3. I'm probably going to play Delta, just because it's close enough for what we're trying to do. Yes, I do have Master Collection Volume 1. I also have Master Collection Volume 2. You know, so I will be able to play that as soon as it comes out, theoretically. Yeah, so start with 3. That'll probably take us a week, maybe 2, depending on how much we stream. Because the run I did with Delta, it took me like 20 hours, and that was me starting a new run as well. Yeah, we start with Delta, then go to Portable Ops. You know, I have no idea how long Portable Ops is. That might be worth looking up right now. Portable Ops is 11 to 12, so I'm thinking maybe like 2, maybe, yeah, probably like 2 streams of like 3 to 4 hours, depending on how that's going. So yeah, so that's what, 12 hours for a just short run through. So 12 to 16, that'll take us like a week to 2 weeks, depending on let's actually call it 2 2 weeks to beat that. That'll then put us on time for portable ops, which will take, say, a week to beat, you know. Actually, no, that one was, what, 12 hours? Yeah, so 2 weeks for each. That puts us into 2 weeks each. That'll put us well into May. And then after that, we end up going to Ground Zero, which I have not played before. MGS Ground Zero's length. Okay. No, that looks like it'll be a stream or two. Because it's... the main story of that looks like it's about 2 hours, so that is a stream, and then there's the side content, which will take however long. Then we have the Phantom Pain. This is going to be a massive pain to fit into the schedule, because my current run, you know, of just playing it normally was 147 hours. So, what, let's say I decide to be absolutely insane and stream for 5 hours a time, 3 times a week, that's 15 hours. So that's 10, that would be 10 weeks, putting us, well, so what? We gave ourselves 2 weeks for each, putting us middle of May. You know, additional time just within, so 10 weeks. True, main story is not that long, but 10 weeks, that's going to be 2.5 months, putting us May, June, July, mid-August, most likely. Then from there, Phantom Pain, we go to Metal Gear. Okay, Metal Gear takes about 4 to 6 hours, so that could be done. You know, that as long as we run with the... Holy shit, yeah, no, as long as we run with the emulator for portable ops, we should be good. Because how long did I spend on Metal Gear Solid 2? Okay, 40 hours with 2, and I took a while with my first playthrough. Okay, yeah, no, so as long as I don't dilly-dally and try to, you know, half-heartedly 100% the side missions for Phantom Pain, we should be able to get there pretty well. Bite, you have managed to save the entire issue that I thought we were going to have. Thank you so much for being willing to talk this out with me, because I will admit was getting a little worried when it came to figuring out the timeline. That is... okay, I know, that is a really good thing. Hey, I would say that you did a pretty damn good job, Bite. You were there to listen to me as I tried to bumblefuck my way through the whole experience I'm working with. Exactly. You are a brilliant rubber duck. Anyway, suppose we should get back to this whole Valheim game that I used as a pretense. for this. That's the wrong image. Yep, we want to remove that image and not add in the lions. Gotta jammed my finger Friday night at HEMA, and it does not feel great. Anyway, back to Valheim, the whole pretense of this show. Back to finding Flint. So, how's everybody's life going? Because I am having a wonderful time. Things just got so much better for me. Ow. Fucking bees. God damn, where is Yaddles when you need her? Because we have found the prophesized bees. Now that the finger thing is entirely on me. I was being an absolute fucking idiot and trying to, you know, be really smart and grab somebody's longsword so I could get in with grappling. I ended up just smashing my finger into somebody's face. And no, you are right on the money there. Finding Flint is absolutely a cheesy 90s movie about, you know, finding someone's... You know, I could see it being like a far more happy-go-lucky version of, like, Captain's Courageous or something. Fucking amazing book and movie, by the way. A huge shocker, the movie didn't adapt all of the really cool scenes in it that, you know, I was hoping for when I watched it, but it is still a damn good movie that is very heartbreaking towards the end. Bird. God damn it. The bird flew away. Sorry, the joke I need to say is, the bird flew. Yeah, they tend to do that. And then you guys respond with a canned laughter, and we all go about our day happy-go-lucky. Well, Captain Flint, you know, goes about his, you know, little jig on the deck or something. There you go. That is your instant bestseller movie. How are we looking for food? Okay, pretty good. Yeah, current plan here, we just are trying to get a general outline of the island. Gather what all we need. And go from there. Well, maybe they should have thought of that before they, disrespected Captain Flint. Or something. Ooh, tin. Cool, so we don't want to be in the Black Forest just yet. Yes, the game has presented me with a goal. I'm going to move away from the Black Forest so we don't get killed right off the bat. Exactly. People should stop kissing birds and listen to what Captain Flint has to say. Hugin says, "Ah! Turn back! This is a dangerous place! Ah!" You have wandered into the Black Forest. Very dangerous for the unprepared. Prove your worth by slaying Eikthyr. And, because Eikthyr is the first boss, we know exactly where he is. So that is our current goal, Jared. Thank you for inciting Hugin to go about his business. Right now, what we're what we're trying to do is just gather materials so that we're ready for the fight. No, I think you're mistaken, Jared. The way that bird flu happens, which is very, very poor grammar, is... God damn it. The way that bird flu works is they flap their wings really hard, and then they ignore gravity. That's how bird flu. RB for raspberry. What do you have to say, Hoogan? Oh, right. There's also traders in this game, found within the Black Forest and Meadows. And one of the more common deaths, as stated by our runestone here, is a tree can fall on your head and kill you. Exactly. It's like a chimney. Gonna need to craft a bow. Ooh, boar trophy. But we're gonna need to craft a bow so that we can kill the deer. Because with each boss, you need a certain number of trophies to get to the next... to summon the boss. I don't doubt that, Jared. The birds have a habit of getting where they aren't supposed to. I mean... Hell, I saw Spoonie post in the Discord earlier about not being able to make it. You know, I'm sure he has quite a few stories about, you know, his feathered friends going where he doesn't want them. Lovely. Coin and amber. Not exactly the most useful thing right now, but we'll take it. Flint and feathers, on the other hand. Flint and feathers are very useful. Guys, we just figured out who Captain Flint's first mate is. It's a dude named Feathers. Feathers is the parrot, and the parrot is his first mate. Oh shit, you're a war scientist. I didn't know we had such a respected individual within our chat. We truly are honored and humbled by your presence, good sir. Come here, boar. Right, still... There we go. If we're lucky with our spear throw, we can get a deer. Which actually... There we go. Ooh, raspberry. Which actually is very helpful at explaining how the progression works. So generally how the progression works in this game is you have different levels of workbench that you can use. And you upgrade those by having additional accoutrement that you place next to your workbench. So if I pop this out, you know, I could place the workbench, you know, wherever. But if I wanted to craft the next thing, I would have to put a chopping block next to it and a tanning rack. And, you know, later as you go on, you have to balance things like comfort and stuff of that nature. Because that can adjust your stamina regen, as well as how long a buff called Rested lasts. For a moment I thought I saw a neck. Yeah, necks are water spirits, which come from the same, essentially, family of spirits as creatures like... What the fuck? Okay, so I have stumbled upon something I was not aware existed within this game, called the Mysterious Axe Head. I have no idea what the fuck that is, and I really hope there's an entry about it. Because that will make things a lot easier. Yeah, it can get a bit difficult later on once you're using portals and all that, because a major thing with the game... That's the direction we need to go. It could use a bird-like thing, but a major thing with portals is you can't transport metal through them, and pretty much all of the endgame items require you to use metals in a smithing station to upgrade, so you'll go on lots of voyages. And once again, Byte is correct. He understands the meaning of the word mysterious. Holy shit, what would I do without him? You, sir, are by far brilliant. The most brilliant of all. You know, it's a really interesting way to balance the portals. I will admit... Okay, so that's the size of our island. It can be quite the pain in the ass, because, you know, this is the world we're working with right now, right? This is how big the world is at the end of the game. So it encourages you to make a lot of outposts. Holy shit, I think we found the wood... Yep, we found the wood variant we wanted. You know, it absolutely makes sense for how to balance portals. I just wish there was a way to upgrade the portals to allow you to teleport wood towards the end of the game. Because it can admittedly get rather tedious towards the end of the game, having to go all the way around. I think one of the most recent updates with the... whatchamacallit? The fire... shit, I'm spacing on the name of the Ashlands. Of Ashlands allows you to teleport materials. But... what do you want? Oh yeah, weather. Thank you, Hugin. Piss off. Yeah, I do wish that towards the end of the game it was easier to teleport ore around, just because, well, it makes sense for the beginning. It gets really tedious at the end of the game going from one end to the other. Exactly. We're living in a material world. When isn't Madonna right, you know? When has Madonna gotten anything wrong as I quaver away with the longest voice crack I think I've ever had? You know, what's our current mystery? The Bite's mysterious axe head. So, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck that is about. I'm very interested to figure out what it's about, but... Ooh. What is that telltale buzzing I hear? Where's the nest? Where's the nest? It's around here somewhere. And the reason as to why we are so fervently gathering the honey and queen bees is honey is a massive part of our upgrade system because we need to make mead that does a variety of things. It's the equivalent of potions. Ooh, raspberry. Exactly. Why would we need to fact check something that is so obvious and well known? One moment. Yes, apiaries are very important in this game. See, if Byte thinks that you are correct, you are correct. Because Byte is always correct, and we have no need to fact check our god of wisdom. Okay, cool. So I heard something that sounded like a voice, and I think that was just a deer. Because the deer in this game have a very annoying habit of barking. See? He is the lodestone upon which all my morals are guided. If he told me to drink the Kool-Aid, by God, I am going to drink the Kool-Aid. For he knows and sees all. Oh yeah, that was really cool seeing the PS2 get worked on. And I do appreciate you guys waiting out the end. I personally have yet to properly go through... God damn it. I have yet to go through the process of getting his ghillie suit, which I want to do in our marathon. But yeah, one thing I will say about this game, at night it is absolutely beautiful. Seeing the branches of Yggdrasil stretch out with the pseudo Milky Way and all that. It is an absolutely beautiful game. There we go. And we rest. Oh yeah, no, it is a really cool use of the in-game clock. And I highly recommend it, Jared. It is fun as hell and really cool to mess around with when it comes to the multiplayer stuff. Valheim Compendium. No. We don't have anything mentioned about the fucking mysterious axe, which I find slightly bothersome. Get rid of these while we can. Core wood. Oh, it is really fun single player as well. One of the main things I like to do with it is just mess around and try to build like mega structures within the first 3 biomes. And by mega structures, I just mean like expansive villages and road networks. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about that variety of games. You have to be really into them for a while. And it's been long enough on my end that I am feeling the urge to go out and play a survival crafting game, which is absolutely amazing, and I am fully aware that the kick I'm feeling right now will, you know, last for like a grand total of a few weeks, and then I'll be able to properly settle down and, you know, move on to the next obsession, which I have, and by God, that obsession better be Metal Gear. Yeah, no, it's definitely a interesting balance to try and strike, because you can, well, you can make some really cool buildings. I would say Valheim definitely leans a bit more towards what I would generally call like the outpost system, because you're exploring the open world so much, and when you die, you know, you need to run back and get your stuff. It encourages you to set up a bunch of little outposts as you go. And turns out setting up a bunch of outposts that are massive structures can be really, really quite a pain to do. Can I fit another one? Cool. So yeah, no, we're just sitting here waiting for all the meat to be cooked. Oh yeah, Pal World, that is a game that I will admit I forgot about exists. Wonder how Pal World is doing right now. Because, like I said, it really had a grip on, like, the streamer ecosystem for a little bit. Hell, our own Wugs went and played it for a bit. But I haven't really heard anything about it, you know, beyond, like, the occasional rumblings of, oh, looks like Nintendo... It's not Nintendo, what's the name of that company? Game Freak. That's one. Looks like Game Freak is suing another company. You know, wonder if it's going to be another Pal World situation. What do we want to do here? Game Freak, that... Yep. That's the one I'm thinking about. And here we are going to get a first-class example of the upgrade system. So this just needs to be within a certain distance of the crafting table, and it will automatically take it to level 2, which unlocks a bunch of new recipes for me, including, you know, leather armor, the Stag Breaker, which I don't use because I don't tend to use hammers in this game. Shit, I forgot to do a different style on my shield. But yeah, from here you just upgrade your weapons and all of that. Deer hide. Let's put down another shelf, just so we can. Store our shit, but we need more wood. And welcome to the loop of this game. You will be systematically deforesting the entire area before you realize that you need to go about preserving the wildlife, because you need it. By Jove, Bite is right. All hail Bite, the lord of wisdom and forethought. Let us never stumble again in our pursuit of knowledge. For so long as we have Bite upon our side, there is no wisdom that we cannot digest. But yeah, no, thank you for corrections like that. I appreciate being able to know things, but above all, know them correctly. That's a just roll with it, man. We all gotta find our niche within a community. And it takes a while for you to break out of a niche once you've already been firmly placed in it. What are we currently looking at wood-wise? Because I absolutely could just go for Eikthyr right now with a bit of deer hunting. Hey, I am glad that your people have been found. Yeah, just so long as you aren't being a complete prick about it and we're not being prickish back at you, I appreciate having a sort of fact checker who can, you know, correct me when I try to remember Oh yes, the term dollar comes from the Roman denari, because they both start with D and have, you know, a few vowels in them. Because that is absolutely how words work. As I throw down a bed. Leather scrap. That we're gonna have to do a bunch of hunting real quick. Actually, let's set up our apiaries real quick. Because that's going to be our next major port of call. Cool, I can keep the 9 spare. Throw the necktail in. There we go. And now it is time to check the correct thing. The bees are happy. That is the message I want to see. All that matters in life are if the bees are happy. Ooh, that is a 1-star deer. Who I somehow missed. God fucking damn it, get back here. Stop running away, you little shit. There we go. Normally I try to stealth a bit more with bows. Oh, I should hope that Yaddles would be thrilled. I mean, who doesn't love a good bit of bees? I mean, people who are allergic, obviously, but... There we go. We need 3 deer trophies, which I hope we get soon enough, but if nothing else, we will have deer meat for days. Oh. Ooh, 1-star boar. How far are we? Do we want to try to... I'll mark it. 1-star boar. And... Berry Village 2. And we hit a really good spot when it comes to what we spawned near. Like, really good. Normally we don't have nearly as many berry farms just quickly in sight. Holy cow. This will be very good when we need to start making jams and meads. Awesome. Cool. So the first few days, like in any survival game, is just, you know, we need to gather stuff, listen to the absolutely amazing music. And as we're doing this, just make sure that everything's going on. Metal Gear Salad. That could work. I'll definitely workshop it, because currently what I'm playing with is, you know, a marathon to surpass Metal Gear, which doesn't quite have the ring I'm looking for. Metal Gear Salad could be a good place to start. Ooh, arrows. Those are very good. We'll need these for when we eventually get to a trader. More berries. Ooh, mushrooms. Mushrooms are also going to be very important, so... our mush. Really? I sound like I'm from Chicago? That is not something I have heard before. Just out of curiosity, like, what words are making you look at that as a point of origin? Though I will admit, my vernacular has been absolutely decimated by just the wellspring of media I consumed as a youth being largely Belgian in nature. Ah. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's a Metal Gear Salad. Yeah, I'm a salad snake. Yeah, this is my brother. Nope. Oh, fucking hell, no. I was going a completely different direction with that accent. You know, I can't really do Chicagan as an accent. It is mainly just the one and only, like, broadly stereotypical Midwest or Yooper. Though I definitely lean more Yooper in my accent. Huh, didn't realize that he had the... that runestone around his neck. Hey. Tell me, oh great Eikthyr, runestone of the forest, what must I do to summon you? Hunt his kin. Thank you, oh Bloodborne-esque message. Ooh, mushroom. Our mush. Right. End goal for today, should all go well, is summon and kill Ike. Because that'll get us at a good starting point, and we can go from there. I'll put this in my hotbar just so we can see it. Yeah, can I get the Metal Gear salad? With a Battle of Pap? Can I also get the bag of bags with that? Nah, that one didn't quite end up in the right vernacular. Oh. I think I've already managed to offend all the Chicagans in my audience. You know, all, like, 2 of them. So, I have nothing to fear. Goddamn, come on, where are you? There you are. There we go. What do we got? Deer hide and no trophy. That's just brilliant. We gotta have at least something here that can give us another trophy. Come on. One thing I will constantly sing the praises of for this game is the music. Ah, lots of people from Chicago, I see. That's horrifying. I might have to keep my thoughts about the Bears, so I mean the Bears, to myself then. Can't have Ark and shit. Why am I spacing on his name? I need to look that up right now, because it is gonna bother the shit out of me if I don't remember their name. Punch. Jesus Christ, how could I forget Punch's name? You know, that area is a veritable wellspring of different accents. Like I've mentioned a few times, you know, having lived in the UP, that's the one that I'm used to, the Yooper accent. Yeah, Southern Great Lakes. That tracks. I couldn't tell you any of like the specific accents from that area, but I could definitely recognize like a few of the minor ones. Like if I heard them, couldn't name them though. You know, that is really cool that you got to meet Punch and Ark. It is absolutely hilarious though that like 90% of the like early community that we had was from that like general Great Lakes area. You know, I remember getting on VC with him a few times, and he definitely doesn't sound like a Chicagan. Yeah, pop that. Boom. Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, I don't think I have ever stepped foot in Chicago or anything surrounding it before. Always been... No, I don't think I've really stepped foot in the southern peninsula of Michigan before, for that matter. Been to like the ferry that takes you to Mackinac, but that's about it. Yes, lore is a wonderful thing. Really? Ark introduced wugs to punch. That is a blast from the past. Or not blast from the past, but just like crazy to think that that's how those guys met. Play stacks. Oh, we'll take the beach seeds. Dude, that is absolutely wild. Who would have thunk? Well, so that's full. Let's organize this by animal product. That is wild. How do we want to work this? That goes there. That goes there. You know, I have always been impressed by how... Hey, we got additional bits. Yeah, I remember that being mentioned a few times, like offhandedly when we were on VC as a group, that Punch doesn't really play FromSoft titles. You know, he's just kind of along for the ride. Hey, I am the Metal Gear guy of the server. It has turned out. I have accepted that title. Cool. The hives are hiving. And do you know something that I don't, Jared? Is there secrets that I am not privy to? Which isn't all that surprising, considering I don't really have a chance to tune into the, like, Wug God stuff, considering my job just didn't give me any fucking work this year. You know, are we secretly going to be starting another playthrough of Space Marine 2? God, that would be a redemption arc and a half if Wugs decided to go back and beat Space Marine 2 for shits and giggles. Interesting. Oh yeah, no, we're definitely getting closer to the end of the roadmap, but I would say that we're still only about, like, just reaching the halfway mark if we're including, like, all the content of Shadow of the Erd Tree and, you know, Elden Ring. Yeah, I will say I'm not entirely shocked that he is mulling about the idea of trying some new games, especially considering how much he was mainlining them to start out. I would definitely say that, you know, the very controversial opinion of Elden Ring is FromSoft's magnum opus. Like, they could not release another game, and I think that it could be considered the peak of them as a studio. Granted, there's a fair few issues to have with Elden Ring, namely like the repeat of bosses and all that, but it is a damn fun game. Oh yeah, I think the only way to really get to enjoy Elden Ring is gonna be like, how long was his Dark Souls 2 series? Like maybe triple or quintuple whatever the Dark Souls 2 experience was. Yeah, I'm replaying Elden Ring right now. Just, you know, for shits and giggles. Fuck yeah, another trophy. And it is so much fun to just mess around. Stop running. Fucking hell. Yeah, I will be interested to see how he goes about the game, particularly with the editing style of his channel. And just like how he feels it'll work out as a whole. Ooh, deer trophy. That means we have enough to summon. What was your first ending bite? I think just due to the way the game works, I can take a wild guess as to what it was. But, you know, why did you choose the Way of the Stars ending? We got that. We got enough for some leather armor, I think. Why do I have so many torches? Well, the real question with the Way of Stars ending is, did you do it in such a way that Ronnie is like, oh my god, you talked to me after the fact in the tower, you know, you are literally my favorite person in the entire world, let's get married and actually love each other. As opposed to, yes, we will shake our hands and, you know, have an amicable political marriage. Oh wow, 15 times is rather crazy. But yeah, no, I believe that, but it's, I think it is like the evolved version of the Firekeeper ending you get in Dark Souls 3 if you give her back her eyeballs. So it's the natural progression to think that that's what ending people would go for. Good man. Well, we're all gentlemen here, so I won't be going too in depth about asking what all the hands were doing. Let's go leather trousers. Nice. I do want to get into trying to mod some of the FromSoft games. I just, you know, haven't gotten around to doing that. Yeah, throw another chest, and then we're gonna have to think about where we're gonna go for our next. If we do leather and animal goods up top, we can have our personal items chest below for old clothing. Move that up here. Boar head goes above the boar. Berries. Where do we want berries to go? Oh yeah, no, I think part of the issue is I was a big Bethesda mod guy. So I've been kind of burnt out about doing a lot of modded stuff. Let's drop all these here. What the fuck is my organization system turning into? You go there. You go there, that's good. Feathers, you'll go up in animal products along with the sap. Drop the stone down below. Christ, I have a lot of berries. That's there. That's just outside of our upgrade range. Nope, I don't want to sleep. Fair enough, I'll sleep. Oh shit, you can trap my IP? God damn it, I slept at just the wrong time. Drop that there. Core wood's not doing great. If we can throw that there. I think we have everything we need for Eikthyr once we get ourselves the honey. You know, I haven't watched CSI, so I cannot comment on that. Basic stuff. And, Jared, one thing to be aware of when you are playing Valheim is you're going to be balancing a lot of food stuff to try and optimize your health and stamina. Oh wow, yeah, I'm not shocked that CSI would have a bad bit of techno babble. Alright, let's gather a bit more wood so that we can set up a temporary house next to the boss fight. God, I would love to be in the writer's room as they try to figure out, okay, what is the most incoherent string of words we can throw together to make people think that we're really intelligent when it comes to code and other bullshittery. Cool. 53 is not bad. What? We want a full stack of wood so that we can do this. The wonderful sound of deer barking. Oh, in the medical field, it is exactly the same thing for any scene where, like, firefighters or paramedics are doing literally anything. You would be surprised how awful some shows, even, you know, like, your shows that are like the entire premise is, yes, we are EMTs doing EMT shit, you know, how wrong they'll get stuff. I think one of the worst I've seen, I'm trying to remember where it was, but somebody had a nasal cannula, you know, the thing that people have like with their oxygen tanks or whatever when they're walking around, and it's just the two little pipes that go in your nose so you can breathe better. They had one of those hooked up to an IV line somehow through a, you know, one of the little tachoderms on their arm, which is absolutely fascinating to me, because of all the things you could choose to put, you know, beneath a tachoderm, it's the fucking nasal cannula. But yeah, it's always interesting to watch somebody who has no idea what the fuck's going on within your profession try and write about that profession. Yeah, definitely, Jared. You gotta find the right balance of bullshittery to make it fun, but sensible enough that, you know, you can get it past your boss. Cool, got that all set. I'll have to check that out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I am out of water, so I will go get myself another bottle, and then we're gonna start the boss fight. So give me like a minute and I will be right back. That is a fascinating idea. 2 people, 1 keyboard trying to stop a hacker. That's how you know they're legit. Right. Let's get this boss fight underway. Where are we looking to end up? Oh god, right on top of me. That is exactly not where I wanted him. That is exactly not where I wanted him to spawn. Bloody hell. I forgot to set up my temporary base. Shit. I forgot to set up the temporary base, so we got one shot at this, unless we do the full run back, which will not be fun. God damn it. Barry's not giving me enough health. You will find nothing but the most riveting boss fights here. Music is good, though. Yeah, watching the conversation out of the fucking hell, we're getting closer to death than I would like. Early in, like, the Pirate Software shorts, you know, before he went on to make himself a complete ass. So much of hacking, from what I understand, is that social engineering side of things, because, like, the weakest part of any system is, like, the human element or something. Come on. Right, don't greed through that. Cool. We greeded through it, and we won. You know, boss fights are not the most riveting to start out, but they definitely do get more interesting as the game goes on. And we got the hard antlers. You know, he definitely was the internet darling for a while, and then open mouth, insert foot. I will not die to a fucking boar after I just killed Eikthyr. And yeah, this is a massive part of the game. You essentially just go from boss to boss, leveling up stuff as you do, and unlocking more abilities. Really. Well, you might not know this, Jared, but did you know that his dad actually worked for Blizzard, and he is the second generation employee there? You know, and he doesn't talk about it all that much, because, you know, that'd be in bad taste, but he's actually the second generation hire at Blizzard. You know, the ferret rescue thing is legitimately a really cool thing, you know, like you said, if it's legit. You know, massive fucking asterisks on that one, but if it is legit, that's really cool. And now we're going on to another part of this whole game. You get the boss trophies. And then once you take the trophies to the center stones, you attach them to a specific, you know, stone. Nope, but he is the second generation hire. That you gotta word it correctly so it sounds more important. Anyway, His antlers are branches of iron. They crack the rocks and bring down mountains. His hooves are the sound of thunder. His voice a howling gale. But yeah, with all that, you know, once you end up killing them, you attach their head to a spike, and you unlock one of their powers. In Eikthyre's case, it is enhanced stamina and all of that. Exactly, the first second. But something I like to do with all of the bosses, I kill them twice, so that I can hang their carcass in my base and, you know, display my might to the world. Exactly, but it is completely different than nepotism. Yeah, completely different from nepotism in any way whatsoever. Specifically because the way that it works is we're not actually using the Latin root, nepo, you know, meaning, is it cousin? No, it should be like nephew. Nepo, yeah, that should be for cousin, not cousin, nephew, yeah. Nepos, meaning, really it's grandson. I always heard it, said, translated to me as nephew, though that might be specifically because of the way that it was used within the church as, you know, if you were a nepotism hire, it was, you know, definitely not because your father or something was the bishop or, you know, pope or whatever, because, you know, they're supposed to be pious and everything. Your long-lost nephew or whatever. Okay, that definitely tracks a lot more, because one of the general translations I'm seeing for it is descendant, which, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we tricked Byte into being correct again. Thank you once more for being willing to fully set up that ongoing trap. I know that it was fully intentional by everyone. Shit, I forgot to set up the thing again. Well, we just gotta first try this. Where are you? There you are. Come on, Eikthyre. You know, something they should probably try and fix before we get to the 1.0 version of the game is the music layering. Because right now I can still hear the Meadows music, which is aiming for a completely different vibe than the Eikthyre boss theme. I know, I saw that as well with the World of Warcraft stuff, and for some reason doubling down instead of just admitting, like, yeah, no, I was just, you know, scared my character would die and decided to chicken out and take the safe route. Which, you know, cowardice is its own separate issue, but, you know, at least you're, you know, willing to admit to being a coward. which, you know, I think is a far lesser sin than deciding to fully double down. There we go. Second trophy. There we go. And the reason why I like getting the trophies is because you can hang them in your base and go from there. So what, we got the Black Forest over here. I think the way we might want to roll this, how long have I been streaming? Because this will decide which direction we go. 2 hours. Okay, yeah, no. We'll head back to our base. And from there, yeah, no trouble at all. Yeah, head back to the base, and from there get set for our next stream that we do Valheim with. You know, whenever I end up deciding to do another Valheim stream, because these are nice little streams to do every once in a while, because while it would be good to have this be a continuous thing, I love Metro, or not Metro. Well, I do love Metro, but do love Valheim, fucking Metal Gear a lot more. You know, you gotta explore all around the island. Something I normally do when I'm playing on my own, and honestly, it might be a good thing to be able to just do as I, you know, am talking with you guys. I like to explore the whole perimeter of the island and go from there, because that can normally get you a very good idea of, you know, what all you're working with, you know, the size of your island, how much you're going to have to replant trees, and instead of just going for a full deforestation route, and also any good spots you can put a base. Because the structure we have here is very, very temporary. That'll probably be one of the major things I also change one in the new episode, or not episode, new stream, just getting everything set. And craft a antler pickaxe. It's also really nice because, yeah, you start the outside of a jigsaw puzzle. And a huge part of Valheim is also that all of the biomes, you're supposed to progress through them in a certain order. And it's good to know where you can and can't go in terms of exploration right off the bat. I'll let that one burn so we can get the charcoal from that. God. And we're getting towards the end of the day as well, so I cannot think of a better way to have this end than, you know, end of the day, check on the bees. The bees are sleeping. We take our charred bit of meat off the grill, and slash. Now we can run this inside. You know, we're here. Close the door. And have a nice seat. seat next to the fire. thank you guys, you know, so much for being here and just willing to talk through my mild issue with where I'm gonna go in terms of the Metal Gear videos, because I will fully admit that that has been eating me up a little, trying to figure out, okay, how do I want the scheduling to look like? Am I gonna make it in time? And it looks like if I don't take things too hard, I will. But yeah, I'm so glad that you guys are here for this, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you to anyone else. This is a bit more to VOD watchers, if we do have any. Thank you to anyone who has subscribed. We have somehow managed to skyrocket in subscribers, going from like 95 to 110 in like the past month, which is fucking insane to me. We'll be here for plenty more chill streams if you do want to stick around. We'll be making more Cyberpunk 2020 videos when I get the chance. And yeah, stay tuned for a marathon to surpass Metal Gear. See ya in the next one.